Muy buenas, un gusto estar con todos ustedes aquí en el Cinematógrafo, el cine en la tele. Estamos en uno de los lugares más hermosos de Hanói. Mira, mira ahí. Look at this. This is beautiful, isn't it?
It's wonderful, wonderful. My favorite place.
Bobby Sommer is behind me, and Bobby will be one of our guests today. Pero además de eso, vamos a hablar de las películas del año, 5, y con eso vamos a hacer el cinematógrafo. Así que, así comienza el cinematógrafo.
Mein liebster Raum ist der Bräugelraum. Ohne angeben zu wollen, kann man sagen, dass es der schönste der Welt ist und auch der meistbesuchte im Museum überhaupt. Daher gibt es immer viel zu tun. Und wenn es mal ruhig ist und man nicht dauernd die Besucher beobachten mag, da kann man auf die Gemälde schauen und wird, glaube ich, immer wieder etwas Neues entdecken. So etwas hört man zwar oft, aber es ist doch etwas Wahres dran. Vor allem bei Bruegel. Ich muss zugeben, dass manche Kollegen meine Begeisterung nicht unbedingt teilen. Manche sind Studenten, deren Gedanken eher um die gestrige Party oder die morgige Prüfung kreisen. Und manche sind schon so lange im Museum, dass es schwer ist zu sagen, was sie mit ihrem Geist angestellt haben. Aber das ist ihre Sache. Wir kommen alle gut miteinander aus.
I think there is someone behind me. Oh, Mr. Bobby Sommer. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm very happy to be here. It's one of my favorite cities.
Hanoi.
Hanoi.
We love this city too much.
I know, I know.
Why do we love it?
It's the people. It's the people. It's the way they live in the south. It's the way they live on the street. It's the friendliness. The hospitality, I think we have lost a big part of in our countries. And it's, of course, the weather, which...
Once you told me something that I love it. You asked me very mischievously, why do you think, Roger, these people are always fine and happy and friendly? And you told me the answer.
I'm sorry, why they...
You told me why they are always in good mood, why they are always smiling. And you told me, you remember?
No!
It's the smile of the one who won.
That was a long time ago. Yes, I think it's the smile of the winner. I mean, we have to realize they won against three of the biggest nations in the world. Americans, French, and Chinese.
It's something.
So, I mean, I would smile if I was in... I could afford to be friendly, couldn't I?
Bob, I met you as the main chief driver in Viennale
Yes.
plenty of years ago. You even don't remember me because I went to Viennale in 2006. So there we didn't meet, and then we met in 2015.
Yes,
But
that's...
I met you through the screen firstly in a fantastic film, wonderful film called Museum Hours.
Thank you.
You were the guard, the one who is taking care of the pictures,
Yes.
and the film is about James Cohen. Can you tell me a little bit about that film? You were in a particular position as a character.
Yes.
That is a wonderful thing. Can you tell me a little bit how it was to shoot in the museum and to play that particular character?
Well, I can say it's been one of the best experiences I had in my lifetime, and it proved to me that patience is something that really gets you towards a positive ending. Because I was beyond my I was in my 60s, and Jam was a person that I met Jam at the Viennale, and he had been a guest for many years. Every year he came back, and you know, we sort of respected each other very much. And then this break came when he did the live production of at the Gartenbaukino. He did this live production of Empires of Tin, or the whole title was Evening Civil Twilight at Empires of Tin, and it was kind of a multimedia production where we had this band with wonderful musicians from Fugazi and what's the name of the guy?
Don't worry.
Vic Chestnut.
Yeah.
The late Vic Chestnut, who has left us pitifully. And I was a stand-in for a narrator because they found a guy they didn't like his accent, so they just got me in the last kind of hours before the thing was happening. And I read excerpts from a book by Joseph Roth about the dying imperium of the late Austrian monarchy, which was wonderful literature. And we had like 800 people, a terrible last run-through rehearsal. Nothing worked out. And then it was a wonderful performance.
Bobby, in the film you played the guard in the museum.
The guard, yeah.
And you meet occasionally a woman who is in a particular moment in her life. She comes from Canada.
Yes.
And she has to see how a relative is about to die, maybe. But in the meanwhile, you as an observer, there is a relationship between your observation state of being and to observe pictures.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of thoughts in the film being told by your voice. Those are things only written by Jem, or they are also things invented or thought by you?
Oh, there was a big part invented by me or ad-libbed. that was just the way Jem worked. He did he could give you a theme, or he could put both of us in a situation, Mary, Margaret and myself, and he would say, look, you talk about this, you talk about that, and he made me think of some stories I could bring into the movie, which I had before. I'm just thinking of this one thing where we are in that cafe, and I talk about this wonderful thing when I was a security guard for a rock star, and this was all ad-libbed, and it worked out fine. But then on the other hand, he could also sort of send me a script at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would just have a couple of hours to rehearse it and memorize it, and I'm very happy. For instance, there's a monologue where I talk about a painting, and that was one thing I also very much like to work like that if I have a chance, because I generally have to say the chances Jem gave me with this were just absolutely fantastic,
Bob, there is something about the character which I know you reminds me your life, because the character said that he used to be someone who was producing music shows and bands and so on. So this is you.
It's my life.
But also you were teaching in a carpenter place? No, because
never.
That is an invention.
No, never. It was, I find this is the best way to work. I'm not a trained actor. I'm one of those guys, I can play, I have to rely on certain character traces I find in myself, but I can work on that, because I found it easy for me to sort of build a fictional person on the groundwork of my own character, and I think there's many more actors who worked like that and who still work like that, but it's just not it's a way that I'm talking about Europe, maybe Austria or the German-speaking areas, where I find somehow if you work like that, you're not treated the way you should be, because these people are too fixated on the, I don't know, the Reinhardt seminar and theater,
Blah, blah.
So, but my favorite, if you ask me about the favorite actors I have, it's always been this character types, between us, my favorite is Robert Mitchum,
Oh, you're Bobby also. You're Robert.
Well, maybe. But there's more similarities here, but I'm not going to get into that.
Tell me something about this, Bob. There are two things that I appreciate so much in that film, which is connected with a certain feeling of what does it mean to belong to a social class. There is a particular way for workers, which is connected with Bruegel, as Bruegel sees the person he painted, but also the way that the film is being aware of the working people. I wonder if this is something only from James' view, or it was something that you...
No, maybe it was the both of us.
Both.
Because, Jem has a very fine radar for people, and I think that's one of the most important things a director has to bring into his work, if he works with artists. And he was just, the way he made me talk about things was very finely tuned, and very subtle. He never had to pull any strings or something. He could just do it in a very respectful way. And also, it's my background. I'm working class. I didn't even know. I'm not so well trained that I knew so much about Broadway. I loved his paintings, but but it somehow, it made me realize, you know, how that artist at his time
Used to
was
be.
really creating things which was absolutely anarchic in a way.
And Bob, tell me something about the way that Vienna is being depicted in the film is absolutely outstanding. I wonder, you were the one who was telling Jem, let's go to this place, let's go to this
He
bar.
didn't take him. He didn't take him. That was amazing because I showed him some nice, very unknown places, or not so well-known places, which are in themselves very outstanding. But then he brought me to this place where the party scene happens, you know, and this I had never seen before.
You never seen before. That is
I've never
incredible.
been there. I've never been there, you know.
So how perceptive he has been.
That's the way he was, you know. I remember when he was working on the footage for the movie, you know, like this. No, he was working on the footage for the live production I told you about, and he wanted me to provide the driver for him. A friend of mine did that, to drive him around all day, and he found these amazing places. I love his work, you know, like if you see his little poems he has on YouTube, like my favorite is called A Lost Book Found. I wonder if you've ever seen that. I mean, it's really,
I will look for it.
it's like a poem.
Do you remember by heart?
I remember by heart. It's about. He tells this story about the children or men, actually, poor people who try to get into the, you know, the ventilation shafts in from the metro, and they try to get to some lost coins which are dropped down there with the chewing gum on a stick, you know, and it's so beautifully done. And he sort of lists the items you can find down there, and there's this lost book found which he cites up. Oh, it was beautiful, you know. I researched him before we worked, of course, and I found the thing, and I knew he was the right guy. It just was
The right guy.
He was the right guy to work with.
Bob. I said Bob, but you're Bobby.
Whatever, you know, I'm Robert, Bobby is all fine.
Bobby, my friend.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's my
you know.
favorite.
That's my favorite.
You know, what you have been doing in the film, in Museum Hours, you are an observer. But you also have been the driver, the main driver, the chief of drivers at Viennale Film Festival.
Yes.
For around 20 more years, right?
It's
20
about,
years.
it's 25 actually.
25.
Yeah. I started in 2000. I started together with Paolo, who produced Museum Hours, and who remained a good friend of mine to here. And I had the privilege of working with many, many stars whom I admired, whom I loved. Some were not so easy to get along with, some were just great. Some are in my heart forever.
And I think one who is in your heart forever is Michael Caine.
Absolutely,
Why?
absolutely.
One more word.
I just,
Tell me the whole story.
that's you know, I was, at the time I was kind of planning the whole transportation, the whole gas transportation, and obviously I took the rather prominent guests, you know, and we did this. There was this big gala thing where it was what you call a red carpet reception, and I was driving him to the theater, and there was, of course, there were all the cameras and all the press people and a big crowd of people, and he gets out the car you know. Somebody opens the door for him, and somehow he ended up closing the door while I just slipped. It was an automatic gear, and I had my foot on the brake, and I just slipped, and the car sort of did a little jump, and he had his hand still on the door handle, and it was kind of like that, and then I hear him shouting, "Stop the fucking car!" And he was like, you know, I was dying. I was absolutely dying. I said, you know, they, of course, and this in front of all the rolling cameras, and he was walking in because they had to keep the schedule, and I was alone in the car, and I was a heap of misery. I said to myself, I can't do this anymore. I mean, I did this job for so many years, and I worked in the same genre for so many years. Something like that never happened to me, and all the time I was thinking, oh God, I'm left alone here in my misery all the while he's in the theater. You know, he's gonna come back 1.5 hours later, and he's gonna kill me or something. You know, they're gonna fire me for sure. But I didn't care anymore. I considered myself as you know, doing something else with the rest of my life or whatever. First person who comes in was Hans, my very good friend. Apart from being the director of the festival, you know, but he was that to so many people. He was just a wonderful person, you know, and I loved working for him. And
you're talking about Hans.
I'm talking about Hans now. The director of Viennale.
We did a program of when he died, a whole program on him. In our program, in our TV program.
Oh, I have to see that. I really have to check it out because I'm talking about this is like, you know, it's like our friendship. You know, he was a real friend.
I know.
But
tell me, then came
he
into
was
the car.
the one who came in the car before he had to go on stage with Michael, because he sensed the situation I was in, and he comes in the car and he says, you know, Bobby, we're gonna have other prominent people here, but I need someone to rely on. So you cannot just leave, because I said, Hans, I'm getting too old for this. I mean, I'm quitting, and he says, no, I won't let you quit. You just cheer up. I won't let you quit. Okay, it sort of helped, you know, but the real great thing, and why I think. At that moment I realized a little later I had another person whom I'm going to behold in my heart, which was Michael Caine. He was coming out of this place, and I was sort of standing there like a schoolboy, and he comes up to me and he hugs me and he says, Bobby, it never happened. And I was, you know, and that's where I saw real greatness. That's where I saw a real gentleman, real greatness and a wonderful spirit. He was just, you know, of course he was, you know, at the moment he was reacting, but he was reacting, I mean, the guy is who he is, you know, and he's, you know, makes you realize we have a little connection here from working class to medieval working class, which I just realized. Yeah, that's,
and he has kept his consciousness because he's still alive.
Absolutely. And this, I realized that, you know, and I mean, there's a few more of these anecdotes, and there's some people I will hold in my heart forever, and there's some I realized, well, they may be great artists, but it does not necessarily mean a great artist is a good
Michael
person.
Works.
You know, but Michael works.
And
Michael
he is
still works.
in our work.
And my God, I wish him all the best, as he's apparently retired now.
She would never say where she came from. Yesterday don't matter if it's gone. While the sun is bright, or in the darkest night, no one knows. She comes and goes.
Termina el año y no podemos no hacer nuestro, no top 10, vamos a hacer top 5, más exigente todavía. Y la primera película que vamos a elegir como una de las películas del año es Las Corrientes de Milagros Blumenthaler. Película notable, absolutamente notable. Una mujer que se encuentra ante un momento esencial de su vida, en el momento de mayor éxito de su propia carrera como diseñadora, se da cuenta de que una corriente la lleva hacia no querer seguir viviendo. En la corriente de no querer seguir viviendo, descubre que quizás sí quiere seguir viviendo. Pero en eso, o en ese descubrimiento, o al menos hasta que se vuelva a ajustar a la vida que tenía, si es que puede, es el reencuentro, o en todo caso la disyunción entre la vida que se tenía y lo absurdo, o la conciencia de lo absurdo de la vida que se tenía, y a partir de eso un juego entre lo absurdo y lo encantado, o si se quiere, entre una vida absolutamente mecánica y una vida absolutamente orgánica, vital, encantada. Este es el juego de la película y es una verdadera maravilla. La segunda película sin duda es La extraordinaria misericordia de Alain Guiraud. Película que arranca como si fuera un drama policial de pueblo pequeño al mejor estilo de Klaus Chabrol y que de un momento a otro se convierte en el universo de Guiraud, donde el erotismo lo impregna todo, donde una forma muy misteriosa de la vindicación de toda forma de vida, de todo tipo de personajes, ¿no? Todos los personajes en Guiraud son amados por él. Pero la película termina siendo, discretamente, pero de un modo extraordinario, una gran película sobre la misericordia, como el título lo indica. Notable film, notable estreno, un milagro que se haya estrenado. La tercera gran película del año es El príncipe en Anagua de Clarissa Navas. Notable película, el seguimiento de un niño, Ángel, que lo encuentra por el azar mientras que está haciendo una serie para el canal Encuentro, lo ve y en ese encuentro entiende de inmediato Navas que hay alguien que merece una película y se transforma en una vida de película, o la película de una vida. Más casi 10 años y el film simplemente muestra ese crecimiento, el paso de la niñez a la adolescencia y a la primera etapa de la vida adulta. Una proeza, El príncipe de Anagua. La cuarta película del año para nosotros es The Mastermind, o Mente Maestra, de la gran Kelly Reichardt. Se trata del robo de un conjunto de pinturas, 4, de un museo menor de los Estados Unidos. Pero a través de ese acto y de aquel que perpetra el acto, se introduce la historia de la década del 70, sobre todo la guerra de Vietnam, justamente donde estoy yo en este momento, y a partir de eso hay una lectura histórica crítica, pero que llega a nuestro tiempo de un modo muy misterioso y enigmático. Extraordinaria película para quien es, al menos para mí, la mejor cineasta estadounidense en actividad, Kelly Reichardt. Y nuestra quinta película del año es Todo documento de civilización. Película sobre la muerte, injusta muerte, asesinato de Luciano Arruga, un adolescente del conurbano, uno de los tantos. Y a partir de esto hay todo un trabajo de reconstrucción, no solamente de las condiciones que permiten de que la policía le haya quitado la vida, sino de un proyecto quizás, un proyecto histórico, político, social, que ya estaba incluso en la forma de concebir la ciudad de Buenos Aires, la la arquitectura entre el Gran Buenos Aires, los de abajo, los del centro y los de arriba. Gran película, gran, extraordinaria película de Tatiana Masu González. Podrían haber habido más películas, pero estas son las 5 que elegimos. ¿Estaremos el año que viene? No lo sabemos. Por lo pronto ha sido un placer enorme estar haciendo el programa, una vez más con el querido Marcos Queno. Es un programa de los dos, es un programa de autor, de coautoría. Esto no es un programa simplemente de tele. Y tratamos de sacar provecho de los viajes que tienen que ver con mi trabajo, tratar de hacer viajar al televidente y tratar de trabajar con las películas que se estrenan para pensar el cine de muchas formas posibles. En fin, quizás hasta el año que viene. Quizás. Ojalá. Hasta la próxima.